Holy shit! That is a shitload of boxes we got there. 14 boxes. This is the biggest month ever. Huge month. Tons of boxes. My God. So, many of you may be tuning into this channel for the very first time, wondering what this is all about. So I'll give you a quick synopsis. Real quickly. What's this channel all about? Well, boxes. Beer. And beards. And other things that start with B. I don't know. What else starts with a B? I don't know. Tune in, find out. Anyway, so to quickly sum up, basically the point of this channel is to help you, the viewer, find the best box out there. Basically, there's just way too many subscription boxes out there, especially in the nerdy, geeky genre. So there's just too many. It's become a very popular fad lately, and it's practically impossible to pick just one. So I had the same problem very many months ago, and I thought, well, I'll start a channel, I'll try all the boxes and try to find the best one to help you find the best one. So we're going to go through all these boxes, give quick little summaries on them, put them head to head to help you find the best box. Maybe it's number one, maybe it's one in the middle. It just kind of depends. Maybe it's just something for your preference. Either way, the point is just to help you guys out, to help you in your search through all these things. Because when I was originally searching, it was too hard. You can do research on individual boxes, but you can only get so far and try to compute it all yourself. So I found it easier to have one big video, putting them all back to back, just to sum everything up, and that always helped me out, but there was just never any videos big enough with all the boxes. So anyway, that is the basics of this channel. So, all these boxes are going to go head to head. I'm not going to spend too much time on each individual one because I'm only about 2 minutes into this video, but I already know this video is going to be insanely long. So I apologize in advance for the sheer magnitude of this video. I know it's already like crazy long, so break it up into parts, watch it in pieces, or maybe just catch your favorite box in here. Totally up to you. But either way, if you want information on specifics in the box, I have separate videos for those. So we go into detail, or I go into detail about specific boxes in different videos. So if you want to see pictures or different items, then refer to those specific ones. This will just be a quick overview. Now, let's get started into these boxes. So basically I have 14 boxes, and we're going to go from 14 to 1. Don't get too caught up in the specific numbers of these boxes. So if you see a box that was number 5 on the list and you're like, oh, it should have been number 4, how dare you? Like, don't get too caught up on the specific numbers. This is more of a general idea. So the best way to think of it is basically I'm putting them in tiers of low, mid, and high. The low ones are obviously ones that you might want to avoid. The mid ones are like, okay, if they strike your particular interest, then go for it. But if not, then pass on those. And then the high tier ones are the ones that I would recommend for anyone, that are just all around good, good value, good everything. So, and before I get started, first of all, let me apologize for rambling. I'm going to do that a lot. So if you're looking for a quick video, probably don't watch this one. I go highly into detail, so if you're looking for that, you found the right channel. I apologize for all my subscribers that do watch all my videos for repeating a lot of the things I say. People who've watched my videos before will notice I've said things that I've said probably 1,000 times before. But since subscribers are coming in so quickly, I gotta treat each video as if people are watching it for the first time. So if you hear me repeat myself, I apologize for that. I gotta do that for some of the people that are just watching this for their first video. So, a few other points I'm going to touch on, then we'll get into the box. Again, sorry for rambling. So if you are tuning into this for the first time, welcome. Hi, peace. So, one thing I've heard from people is that they see me coming across as a little bit negative. So the point of this channel is to find the best box. But to find the best box, you also have to find, inadvertently, the worst box. You have to. You don't have a choice. So I hope it just doesn't come across as negative, because I'm never trying to bash any of these companies. I'm never trying to put anyone down. I'm just trying to find the best, and I have to find the worst. So please don't take anything as negative. None of these boxes are bad. Some are just better than others. And to find the best, there are reasons for that. And to find the worst, I need to give an explanation. I can't just like pick up a box and be like, well, no, bye. I gotta give reason for it. Like, I gotta give explanation. Otherwise, I'm just gonna sound like a jackass. So, please, when we start out the countdown, don't think that I'm coming across as negative. I want all these boxes to succeed, and I hope they watch my videos and take pointers from it. I've gotten a lot of hate mail from these specific companies saying how offensive I was to their boxes. And I'm not trying to be offensive. All I'm trying to do is be honest. If you take one thing away from this video, it's honesty. I'm trying to be honest. If you're offended by that, then, you know, maybe you should look at your own product that you're putting out there. Maybe there's a problem with that. But anyway, I have rambled enough. It's already 5 minutes and I've done nothing here. So, let's just move right past that and let's get into some boxes. Well, let me transfer this in a momento. Yeesh. On a side note, I think this company should make more of these goblets, because one thing we can all agree on through all these videos, these are fucking awesome. They should totally make more of these. These are probably the best thing in the world, and I love them. Because who doesn't like a goblet? And I only have 2 characters, and they keep repeating in my videos, so I hope there's more of them. Anyway, moving on. So let's get into the first box. 14, sweet Christ. So, number 14 on the list is, you can't tell what that is, but this is F-Box. So, I really hate to hate on F-Box, because I've heard so many good things about it. I've heard this hyped up more than any other box out there. People have told me legitimately, like, this is the best box. This is the go-to. This has never let us down. And then I got my first month, and it was such a letdown. And again, I won't go too much into the details, but it was a Star Trek box, specifically a Spock-themed box. We got 2 pops, a reaction figure, a lanyard, and a pin that were supposed to be Spock-related. And I couldn't have been more disappointed, not just because of all the hype out there about this box, but because it was so uninspired. There was just no thought put into it. Leonard Nimoy's recent passing has inspired a lot of boxes to make him as their theme. And that's totally cool. I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan, but I like it, and I'm happy to see it. And they put a bunch of Funko products in there that were extremely easy to find. They're harder to find now since he passed away, but there was just not much thought into it. And also, we got a Deanna Troi pop figure, which is like, that totally is out of the realm. Like, I know someone who put this together thought, oh, Star Trek is Star Trek, and it's like, Trekkies out there will defend me when I say this, like, no, like, that's not the case. Like, it's a completely different series. Spock was from the original Star Trek, Deanna Troi is from Next Generation. They had no contact whatsoever. There's barely a correlation between them, other than they're in the same series. You can think of it as like Doctor Who, like a character from the first Doctor Who and the character from the 9th Doctor Who. Like, technically they're Doctor Who, but like, they're not even in the same timeline. They're not even in the same world. Same universe, but not the same thing. So, that just showed that there wasn't much thought put into it. And the value on this was extremely low. I wrote it down. So this value was right around $30, and that's what you paid for it. So you got right about what you paid for it, which would have been cool if you got interesting items or exclusives, but you only got some just like very generic stuff. The value on this probably has changed a little bit since this box was released, because like I said, Leonard Nimoy stuff now is slowly increasing in value since he's passed, but I don't know how much I want to take that into account. So it's still cool to have some Leonard Nimoy stuff, but there's very little thought put into it, and the overall value just wasn't very high. So again, let me just reiterate, this wasn't a bad box. The rest of the boxes were just better than this one. I wouldn't say like, hey, don't order from this company or anything like that, but this box just didn't tickle my fancy. I've seen reviews of other boxes from this company, and they were full of exclusive stuff, like exclusive stuff that's hard to find, and that's what I love. And this box just is the exact opposite. It was the most generic stuff out there. You can still find these Star Trek pop figures, even Spock. He's a little bit more expensive on eBay now, like, because it's gone up since his death, but again, not much. Even if I took into account the price raise from him passing, it really isn't that much, and it wouldn't have put the value up much more. It's mostly just because it was a very uninspired box. So let's hope that next month is better, and let's hope that they put more thought into it. I have no idea what next month's theme is. They showed a picture of it, and I have no clue what that means. Someone said Game of Thrones, which I really hope it isn't, but anyway, let's hope next month is better. This one I was pretty bummed about. It's gotten one of the lowest scores, so yeah, definitely a low score. So that was on the bottom. 14. Not time for number 13. Oh yeah, Iron Man Goblet. Alright, let's keep it going. Got lots to talk about. I'm already wasting tons of time with my ramblings. Number 13 was, again, this has no label except for this one, Betoyo Bento. So this is kind of like an anime box. And, you know, this is on a side note, you can always tell, like, the boxes that are very uninspired, that don't have a lot of thought put into them, the effort always shows. Just like with F-Box, just like with this one, it's always like a plain box, which, you know, it doesn't make a huge deal, but it's always so much better when the boxes have some decoration to it. Because when you get the box, you see the name, you get excited when you see it, drive up and see it on your doorstep or whatever, and it just shows little bits of effort that wouldn't make a difference, but it's just a coincidence that the people that put a little bit more effort into their boxes and on the look of it also have better boxes. And the ones that send you like a plain box with a stamp on it are also just happen to be, coincidentally, the boxes that aren't as good. So just on a side note, that's just kind of a fun, or like an interesting coincidence, which just something to note. Anyway, the Betoyo Bento, this one, I really hope they do better in the following months because they have really interesting items. Like, I love these Gashapon figures. Like, these come in so many varieties. I love this kind of stuff. So, but the 95% of the box was one giant plush toy. And it's just too much. You only got 4 items in the box, and one was one giant Kirby. Nothing against it. I love Kirby. I thought that's cool. But it's just there, with only 4 items, that kind of is a bummer. And the value on this, I need to adjust a little bit because the Kirby figure, I think I valued a little lower than it was. Someone mentioned, and I did a little more research, that I may have valued it too low. So that Kirby plush figure would have been valued a little higher than my original video. But even still, even with that, on the low end, you're still not getting what you paid for. On the high end, maybe. But for a $40 box, like, that's just too much. That's very expensive to get only 4 items and to get barely what you paid for. Now, I do give them a little credit because it's not the same with other boxes where, like, F-Box, I got a bunch of Funko Pops that I could easily attain myself. This is a little harder because it is from Japan, so they do get a little credit there. But regardless of that, when I'm giving a company $40 and I'm only getting like 30 to 35, I'm losing money. I'm losing money. And these things are online. You can find them on eBay. You can order them from the company. And if I can buy these things and have saved money, like, that's just not a good deal. So I'm really hoping it's a fluke because I would love to get stuff from Japan. It's cool to find stuff that I don't get to see every day, that introduces me to new stuff. So I am going to keep this box around, and I do, like, fingers crossed, hope for the best in the months to come. But this box, very low value, and that's why it kind of got lower on the tier. So, and it only had 4 items. Although they were cool items, that just wasn't enough. And again, not a bad box. It was still cool, but not as good as the rest. Simplest way to put it. So, number 13, Betoyo Bento from Japan. On to the next. So, hold on. Sorry, talking a lot dehydrates me so much. So, number 12. This one was Treasure Chest by Toywiz. Again, like I said, plain cardboard box usually means uninspired. And, whoa, no surprise, total coincidence, very uninspired. So this one, I don't want to hate on too much because it was a good box, but it's a very niche genre of it. So you kind of have to know what you're getting into here. So this one is specifically for either kids or someone who's very into toys, toy collectors. But I wouldn't even say like adult toy collectors, because none of these toys really have any value. They're not rare by any means, and a lot of them are used. So they don't come in original packaging. They're like secondhand market. So something you might get at a thrift store per se, because they're out of the package. So it's not that it was bad, but you'd have to be either a child or very specifically into just like toys in general, and not necessarily valuable toys. Now, in their defense, they did give a decent value. So you paid $50 for this box, and they promised $100. They didn't quite hit that. They value their stuff much higher than it's worth, but you did get a pretty decent value. Now, like I said, uninspired by the plain box. That's because a lot of the toys in there were just kind of like, it seems like things you would find in a clearance aisle at like Toys R Us. It seemed like a lot of leftover. And here's a warning, something you should know about. Box companies that sell strictly boxes are going to be your better bet. Whereas if you buy boxes from a different kind of company, like a toy company or a distributor, when you buy from them, you're going to get their lowest quality things they sell. You're going to get their clearance items because they're just trying to clear it out. And that's just kind of a fact all around. And again, not a bad thing, but that's something you need to be aware of when you're trying out new boxes. If it's already an established company, then that box is going to be full of their lowest tier like crap. And again, not that it's bad crap, it's just that stuff that nobody else wanted. So if you don't mind risking some money for some cool random toys, then hey, I say go for it, because it did come with a lot of stuff, and it was pretty cool to go through all of it. But it just wasn't very valuable, and it didn't really hit my taste. So if you have like a son or a daughter, or have a niece or nephew that has a birthday or something, this would be perfect, because you definitely got more than you paid for, and it would be a perfect gift for a child. Like they would find this fantastic to open this big box full of toys. As for you adults, which most of the people that subscribe to my channel are, I probably wouldn't go for this one, because again, it's not really for collectors' sake. It's kind of a bunch of random toys, so it's very obvious that not a lot of thought was put into it. Especially because when I ordered this box, I put in some interest just to see how this company would work. I said, oh, I'm ordering this for a child whose interests are this, this, and this. And they totally ignored that. And I talked about things they have on their website, and they totally ignored my request, which, okay, so that just goes to show wasn't a lot of thought put into it. So again, not a bad box, but not the best. Not a lot of thought. Freaking bugs in here. Not a lot of thought, kind of some random stuff. So again, enough rambling. Number 12, Treasure Box by Toywiz. I probably won't be ordering from them again. I think it was good to know what this company is about. They have a great site with tons of things for sale on there, but I think I got my answer about their box from this one box, so I'm good on that. On to the next. Oh yeah, Iron Man. Alright, time for number 11. Number 11, Kawaii Box, another box from Japan. Now, this one I had a hard time placing in the countdown. I heard from some other people that it shouldn't be in this countdown, and I kind of agreed with them to an extent, but I didn't want to leave it out because it was one of the monthly boxes. So this one's different because it's not your typical nerdy collectible theme. This is kind of just a Japanese themed box. It still had cool items, and some of them are in tune with nerdy themes because they are from like movies or comic books or TV shows, but it's not specifically nerdy. It's just kind of Japan culture. And I thought this was really cool. I got some candy. I got a lot of stationery, which I didn't care for, and a little plush toy. I've seen in some of their other boxes they do have nerdy stuff. Like I've seen like cartoon characters and comic book characters stuff in there. It's just not focused around that. So it almost seems like this belongs in its own category over here. So it was hard to put it in here. So when it's versus these other box, it gets pretty low on the totem pole, like you can see here, just because it doesn't really fit in theme with the rest of them. So on its own, it's a pretty good box, because it was only $19, and you got a few dollars more than that, and it's really cool to experience another culture and like just see some cool shit from Japan. So it's totally cool for that reason. So if anyone's interested in America for some just like Japanese culture, just some fun trinkets, some candies, some plush toys, some slightly nerdy stuff, then I would totally say try it out. For 19 bucks, how could you go wrong? And that's including shipping. So that's a pretty good deal. So I like this box, and I'm going to try it out a few more months, because for 19, like, not much to lose there. But in the lineup versus these other ones, it doesn't do so well, because it doesn't hold its own weight. So that's why this one got lower number. But that's pretty much it. So I'd still say it's a pretty cool box. Check it out if you'd be interested in some Japanese culture. So Kawaii Box. Cool. Next. Alright, this one. Number 10. This one was very hard to put in this place, but we'll talk about that. But number 10, Geek Fuel. This one's been pretty hit or miss. First month wasn't that good. Second month was pretty good. And this month, again, I had trouble with it. So the value on this one had a huge range, because on the low end it was like 30, and on the high end it was like 70, because it had a game code in there. And they did that the month before too, and I'm just not a fan of that, because it's a Steam game code, which I realize Steam is very popular, and it's a very big engine for playing games on, but it's mostly geared towards PC gamers, and I have a Mac. So when they put a game code in there like that and I can't use it, it's worthless to me. So it's more of a specific thing, which I don't really like, because if you have a PC and you use Steam and you're a gamer, then this is perfect for you. You had fantastic value and you have no complaints. But that's only so much of the population out there. The rest of us, this was almost useless, because that game code was like half the value of this box. Since I'm not a PC gamer, I can't really use it. And even if it works for Mac, again, I'm not a PC gamer anyway. I'm mostly console and things like that. So it was very hard to put this in there, but I was disappointed by the first time they put a game code, and they put another one in with even more value on it. And then, again, the rest of the items in here were not that great. They were just okay. They weren't bad by any means, but they were just okay. So I was really unhappy about the game code. I realized some people loved it and some people hated it. There was no in between. It was either a love or hate thing. So either you valued it super high or you valued it practically nothing. So I valued it practically nothing, because that wasn't something that interested me. And again, I try not to put too much of my personal interest in this rating system. The reason it got lower is because of what I've heard from my subscribers. People that have commented on it. Most people said they didn't like it. Most people said they either couldn't use it or wouldn't use that game code. Some people did, but most people didn't. So that's why it got lower. Not because of my personal opinion, but because the general opinion of the populace out there. So again, not my personal interest, but that's not the reason it got lower. It got lower because I don't think most people would have good use for this, which is kind of a bummer. So again, I really hope they don't keep doing this game code thing. It's fine to put in every once in a while, because you want to hit all the markets, gaming and collectibles and whatever, but not all the time. I can tell that Geek Fuel obviously has some kind of partnership with Steam, if not the same owner. So I see that happening constantly. So again, next month, like, just take a break from it. Put it in every once in a while, but if I see it again in the next month and it's that much, I might have to cancel this box, because it's just not for me, and I don't think it's for most people. So again, nothing wrong with this box. If you're a gamer and you use Steam often, I would say go for it. This is totally the box for you, because you get some awesome game codes that are worth a ton of money for decent quality games. So if you're a PC gamer, hey, I totally recommend it. Everyone else, I probably wouldn't. So again, we'll see next month and do a final decision on this box and see where it goes from there. But for this month, number 10 was Geek Fuel. Sorry guys. Next. Woo! Alright, moving right along. So, we passed number 10. On to the single digits. So, have I talked your ear off yet? Are you sick of me by now? That's okay. Take a break. Go watch something else for a while. Come back to this one. It's going to be a long video. Hang tight. Anyway, if you're still watching, on to number 9. And number 9 was Hero Crate. So this one is, if you don't know about Hero Crate, it's always based around a specific hero. They pick one character and they base the whole box around that, which I've always really liked. And it's cool because it's not monthly. You have to order it individually, so you always run the risk of it selling out. But they're usually pretty obvious about which person it's going to be. Excuse me. They're obvious about who the character is going to be most of the time, so you can actually pick it when it's a character you like. And if it is a character you like, it's wins all around. But the good thing about it not being monthly is if someone you don't like comes up, you just don't have to order it. So this month, Mario. And this one was pretty cool. I loved the shirt. The shirt was just downright awesome. And again, if you want to see some close-ups and stuff, refer to the specific video. Awesome shirt, but in usual Hero Crate fashion, the value is just never very high. It never has been, and it's never going to be. You usually pay $30, and you get a few dollars more than that. Usually $40. This one was actually a little higher, so it did good, but usually you don't get much more than you paid for. So that's why, the good news is about it is, even though you only get a little more than you pay for, you get good quality stuff, and you know what you're getting because it's a specific character. So it's not, the good news is when you find a character you like, you know you're going to love everything in it. So that's why this company is still holding water even though it doesn't have high values, for that reason specifically. So this one actually had a decent value, and I love Mario. And the good news is they order good quality shirts. They order the Toltex brand, which for those of you who don't know, Toltex is a nice company. The Gildan brand of printed shirts is usually shitty. So Toltex is a good brand, and they always order from them, which I love. So they fit well, they're nice quality shirts. And the rest of the stuff is just cool stuff from a character that you might like. So my advice to you is just keep watch on this website. Keep notice of who their character is going to be next month. If it's someone you're obsessed with, totally order it. Just know you're not going to get a crazy high value on it. You're only going to get a few dollars more than what you paid for. But if it's someone you love, then it works out fine. And if it's someone you don't like, then just pass. Try out another box for a few months. So this one's right in the middle because if you loved Mario, it was perfect for you. If you didn't like Mario, you hated it. But it had decent quality stuff, and you did get what you paid for. So this is right in the middle. And let me just take a minute to reiterate. So the first 3 to 4 boxes, that's going to be our low tier. Now we're in the mid tier of boxes. So like every month, it's always very easy to pick out the worst ones, and it's always very easy to pick out the high ones. There are clear winners and losers in this category. But then there's all the ones in between that weren't bad, but weren't great. So if they strike your fancy, then cool. If not, then pass on them. So now we're into this middle tier area where it's that's why I said don't get too caught up on the numbers, because they were all kind of even in the middle. Some just barely won against other ones. So that's why they're kind of in order, but they're all kind of around the same when you get to the middle. So they're all just kind of okay boxes. So now that we're in this mid tier, just keep that in mind while we're talking about it. So again, if it strikes your fancy, cool. If not, pass on that one. So that was number 9, Hero Crate. So time for number 8. And number 8 was Arcade Block. So this one and Nerd Block seem to switch places almost every month. One's always on top, and one's always closer to the bottom. This time around, Arcade Block was lower, because this one they did a double t-shirt month. You got 2 t-shirts, and normally that'd be a good thing, but the Nerd Block company is notorious for not really giving great shirts. Not great in quality and fit, but also not great in their designs. So, for those of you who don't know, the person that owns Nerd Block is the same person that owns Shirt Punch. So you're always getting shirts from Shirt Punch. And they have cool designs on there, but we never get the cool designs. It's like I said with the companies that you order boxes from that are already established companies, you're getting their clearance items. You're getting the stuff that no one else wanted. And I can tell that it's the same with Nerd Block. Shirt Punch is their main company, and they sell as much as they can. Whatever doesn't sell on the website, they toss into the box. It's an easy way to just pawn off the stuff that they don't sell. It's profit for them. It works out in their benefit. And that's usually obvious, because these shirts were okay, but the designs weren't amazing or anything. And I've been on Shirt Punch, and I've seen some amazing stuff. That's never what we get. We always get the ones that don't sell, which is always a bummer. And that's what makes a double t-shirt box not really a good thing, because you're getting like the pawned off shirts and the ones that didn't fit well, they're not good quality, and the designs were just like, they're just okay. And then you got like 3 other items, which were cool items, but like, again, not that great. You did get a decent value on this. Something about this company, whether you get Nerd Block, Arcade Block, and probably even Horror Block, you're going to pay $30 and you're going to get right around $50. That's almost always been the case, like almost to the T. So, decent value. It's ideal that you get double your value, but it's not always expected, because that is a lot to ask for. So, if they get even close to it, I say that's worth it. So, Nerd Block is announcing their new block any minute now. They were supposed to announce it today, and it got delayed for some reason. Don't let me get into that. But anyway, so they should be announcing a new block, and sounds good. This is generally a good company, so if you're, depending on what you're into, if you're really into games, really into horror, like, I'd say try them out. It's always been a pretty decent company. So, that's been, what is it, number 8, Arcade Block. Alrighty. So dehydrated. Number 7 was Geek Me Box. So again, we're getting to the region where they were just okay. Geek Me Box has been up and down, but the good thing about this company, they do always order the good shirt quality. It's always Toltex, so this has been notorious for having good quality t-shirts, which I really appreciate. If anyone's watched my other videos, you know I'm all about the t-shirts and all about the quality. So this one always has good quality. This had a cool mug, a cool figure, so it wasn't a ton of items in here, and you didn't get a super high value. You got a decent value, but it wasn't that great. But you got a good variety of items, and they were good picks and decent quality. So I like this box. We're now into, since this is number 7, we're now into the upper half. So this was the lower half. We've now gone into the upper half of these boxes. So this one's just on that side of good. There was like okay, and this is just like just better than okay. So I think it's worth a try. For $30, you got somewhere like around $45 worth of value, which is decent. That's worth it. Like, you got 50% more than what you paid for, which that works out fine. I'm okay with that. And they have a good variety, and they always have good quality shirts. So, Geek Me Box, number 7. Why not? Alright, let's keep going. I'm out of beer. Need more. Alright, number 6, which is a huge surprise. My Geek Box. So this one has continually been on the bottom tier. This one has, the first month was okay, but if you haven't seen my original video on My Geek Box, please watch it, because if you're considering ordering from this company, there's some need-to-know information on that original video, so check it out. I've gone through a shitstorm of trouble. Something about me in the UK just hates my life and refuses to sell me products or give them to me without like a beating fight. So what I've had to go through with this company is astronomical. And the last 2 boxes absolutely sucked. They had no creativity, they had low value, and they beat up their items. They bent them up and treated them like shit. So I'm hoping they actually started listening to customers, because this one was actually pretty decent. You got a good variety of stuff, you got a decent value, not quite double or anything, but you got like 50% more than what you paid for, and yeah, it worked out. So again, nothing in here was particularly like awe-inspiring and fantastic, but you got a good variety of stuff. If you're looking for a geek box, you got different genres, and they hit all kinds of different genres, from like books, t-shirts, collectibles, like comics, Marvel, Doctor Who, got a little bit of candy in there, you got some sci-fi, you got some fantasy, so it was just a good mix. It was a good representation of like all things nerdy in one box, which is I've just never seen from this company, so I'm totally blown away. We'll make a final decision next month. I've canceled my subscription, so if next month blows my mind, I'll start it up again, but it probably won't. Let's just be honest here. But this one was fun. You got a good variety of stuff. Nothing crazy though. It's from the UK, but this is all stuff from America, so nothing surprising there. But yeah, you got a good little mix, a nice little variety of stuff. So this month was okay, and it did fairly well. The rest of the months were so awful, so even though this did okay, take a big long pause before you think about ordering from this company. Again, watch my video. I would still recommend this if you live in the UK. If you live in the US, I would not recommend this. Again, video, check it out. So, that was number 6, my Geek Box. Hang in there. Alrighty. I need more beer. So, number 5. Moving right down. I think we're making pretty good time, actually. Number 5 was Loot Crate. So I had very mixed reviews on this. This was their Covert theme. So like spy, James Bondish type of theme stuff. So I kind of had a problem with this because it wasn't really their typical like nerdy themed stuff. Like it wasn't really comic book or anything. It was, I kind of feel like Loot Crate is heading more towards the juvenile kids market. Not to say that anything in this box isn't for adults and wouldn't be enjoyed by adults. I just feel like they're directing their market more towards kids than they are adults. So, and this was an example. They put stuff in here that I think a kid would be wowed by and amazed by and fun to have there. But and again, adults would totally enjoy this, but I couldn't really place this in like a collectibles thing because there wasn't really collectibles in there, and it didn't have anything to do with like comic books or anything like that. So it just seems like the whole James Bond thing is like kind of a fantasy, like something fun for kids to play, but not for like the collector like me. So it wasn't much for the collector. But this still had a pretty high spot on the countdown because a lot of people did like it. I heard some feedback and a lot of people loved it. And the items were still good in this box. I just didn't personally like it because it wasn't in tune with like the nerdy theme that I'm used to. But again, my personal values don't really affect where it is on the countdown. It's more about what you guys think and about helping you guys. So at the end of the day, it did have a very good value. So you got almost like, you got over 40 on the low end and almost 50 on the high end. Considering you paid only 20 bucks for this, like, that's fantastic. You got more than double what you paid for. And I can't ignore that. That's just wonderful no matter what you're going for. Even if the stuff was total shit, you can't like be too upset to get that much value. And the things were good stuff. It was decent quality. You got like a cool watch and some other cool stuff in there. And the shirt had a really fun design on it. I really liked the design of the shirt. Didn't fit at all, but it was still a cool design. So, again, I've already seen next month's box, and I kind of feel the same thing. They're kind of steering their market towards the younger audience, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Adults can still absolutely enjoy all this stuff. That's just something to keep in mind. So, this one had a very high value, and it had some decent stuff. And they have a good mix of stuff. That's the fun thing about Loot Crate. You get a high value, and you're going to get things that you're not going to see in all the other boxes. They get pretty creative with their topics, with their themes. They get very creative about it. So the bad news is if their themes are so specific, if they happen to hit one you don't like, it's kind of a bummer. But you still get a lot of interesting stuff. So I would still recommend it. It's still to try out. I would always recommend this for first-timers. If you're looking for a first box to try, I'd say Loot Crate's always like the best place to start. They've been around the longest. They definitely know what they're doing. And everything seems pretty good about it. Again, this box didn't hit my particular fancy. Neither did next month's. But I think the general population would enjoy this and would get a real kick out of this. So there you go. Number 5. Loot Crate. Number 4. So now we're kind of transitioning into the high tier. Not totally there yet, but definitely a transition into the higher tier. Number 4, Classic Nerd Block. So this took the higher place versus Arcade Block this month. And I thought this was pretty cool. You got a t-shirt with an awesome design on it from Shaun of the Dead. You got some fun gags from April Fools. You got a book And I love books, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, especially the nerd culture, that they like when they see books in there, and I'm one of those. Some people would disagree, but I personally like books. And you got some Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, and you got a do-it-yourself, but it came with stickers, so it's not a big do-it-yourself project. So this one was a good one, and you got a decent value. You got like almost right around double on this one, which is usually it's around $50. This was closer to $60 in value. So some of the things were interesting choices, but I personally liked them. And from what I've heard feedback from you guys really liked it as well. So all around pretty good choices in this box. And it just had a general nerdy theme, and it touched on some cool stuff. And you got a cool book. And now the original classic nerd block is starting to be curated. This one was curated by Simon Pegg, which I love. And next month is curated by... of course, I forget his name, like, right when I'm thinking about it. Oh, God damn it. The next month's block was curated by Kevin Smith. Took me a minute to think about it. So, I think that's cool. That's something good about Classic. And again, I think this would be the place to start for first-time, like, box collectors. If you're looking for a monthly subscription, start with Classic. See how you feel with that, and then go from there. Because it's general stuff, they find good curators, and they're getting good at it. They're getting exclusive stuff, which is really awesome. Next month's block is pretty cool. So this definitely deserved the number 4 spot. They're really good at what they do, and yeah, I really liked it. So number 4. Alrighty. Almost done with the countdown. So now we've officially come to the top tier. We're in the final 3. So we're way past the top half. We are officially in the top tier of boxes. Like I said before, low, mid, top. First 3 were low, all the rest in the middle. Time for top tier. Number 3, My Geeky Goodies. So this box sucked at first. When I ordered from this company, like, they were clearly a new company, and they downright sucked. They just weren't very good at all. They were always on the bottom. They were always the worst. They really sucked. And then right when I canceled them, they started to pick their game up. And they've been pretty good ever since. They've been giving decent value, and they've been having good choices, which is kind of rare to find these days. So, in this box, at first glance, it wasn't very inspired or thoughtful, because you got a t-shirt, a pop figure, and a mystery mini. Like, some of the most generic things you can get in a box. But the reason why it's been getting higher is because they have good choices. Because the t-shirts and stuff, and well, the pop they picked was the Cthulhu, which was a bigger one, and it's an awesome pop figure. It's a really cool one. So although pops in these mystery minis are generic, if you pick the right one, it's really cool. You get good choices. So in this box, they had good choices. Everything they picked out was good quality, and it was just fun. I think everyone appreciated them. So it seems like they're putting thought into it. They're not quite putting thought into like finding like rare items per se, but so they're finding somewhat generic items, but they're putting thought into it as in finding the cool characters, finding the cool series, finding ones that are in theme, which is very important. So on this box, you got somewhat close to double, so you got pretty close to it, which is good. The t-shirt, I didn't love the color, it was this bright yellow, but it did have a cool design on it, which I did really appreciate. And they had some like vintage cards in there, which are cool and somewhat hard to find, and like some zombie cards. So all around, I kind of liked everything in this box. I thought it was very cool, and for $25 for like a decent box, like, not bad at all. And I've been keeping up with them, and all their recent boxes have been good. They've been good quality, and they've been good picks. So I thoroughly enjoyed that one, and I'm excited to see what next month brings. The only thing I would hope to see from them is some exclusive stuff. They've never had anything exclusive. They've don't have any partnerships, I don't think, which is, I wouldn't say a bummer, but it would be cool to see some of that. So they've been doing some good choices, and I can see the thought that they're putting into it by picking the best things that they can find of like a reasonable cost. So I definitely enjoyed that box. No problems there at all. So that was number 3, top tier. I'd recommend it. If you're a first-time collector and trying to try out a box, I'd say my Geeky Goodies, before I would have said totally avoid them, but I think it's worth it. If you want to spend a little bit more, it's not expensive at all, 25 bucks including shipping, but you get a good variety and you get some top-notch choices. So I very much liked it, and I very much look forward to next month's box. So, number 2. You need to grab another beer. Hold up. Third beer. Just goes to show how freaking long this video is. Alrighty, number 2. Back up in the top half, 1UP box. So this was always in the top when it first came out. It took a dive for a couple months. It went down and stayed down. And I had very much worried about it because I was very concerned. But this is the cheapest box out there. So if you just start subscribing, it costs $18. But if you're like me, it costs $15. Or people that started from the beginning, it only costs $13. So I'm getting a fantastic deal. But I'm not rating it based on that. I'm rating it based on the people that would have to subscribe and pay $18. So you got a shirt, which is good quality. You got a cool wallet. You got a small Funko, some gag stuff, and a little key cover. So you got really a good variety of stuff. And you got a really good value. So $38 to $40 value on this box. So even the people that are paying $18 for the box, you're still getting a great value. You're getting more than double. And considering you're only risking like less than 20, it's such a good deal, because with these higher boxes that cost a lot, it makes me nervous, and I'm sure it does for other people, because you're putting so much out there. You're gambling. Every time you order a box, it's a gamble, because it's a mystery box. That's the point. So you don't know what you're getting back. You're going to Vegas and you're betting big and hoping that it pays out, and most of the time it doesn't. So this one, fortunately, you're only betting a small amount and you're getting a good payout, which is awesome. So that's just less stress for people that are worried about wasting money. So if you're looking to save some bucks and looking for a cheap option, this is definitely the way to go. And you got some cool stuff, and it was very interesting. So this definitely deserves the number 2 spot. It was number 1 for a few months in a row, and it took a dive for a while. But again, the only thing I would recommend for this box, I think they should take some time off from the t-shirt thing. Considering it's such a cheap box, t-shirt takes up so much of the value. I'd like to see 1 month where it didn't have a t-shirt, where it just had a bunch of small stuff, because that's what you would expect from a cheaper box. A lot of smaller items. I know a lot of people would disagree and they like the shirts because everyone likes shirts, but every box does a shirt. I have enough shirts, so I'd like to see them do some months where it doesn't guarantee a shirt, where they just mix it up with some fun small stuff. So definitely worth the value on this. Definitely had some good choices. More than double your money's worth. Like, that hits like all the major points. Like, it hit everything in a good way. So it put quality, quantity, and value. The 3 main points that I would put on a box, and it hit them all. Like, alright, good job. Number 2 was 1UP box. Way to go. Time for number 1. Alright, we're finally here. We made it to the number 1 spot. If anyone's still watching at this point, you are a champ. You've watched a shitload of my video, and I'm proud of you. Thank you for sticking it through all the way to the end. You're amazing. So, without further ado, the number 1 spot was Custom Fan Box. Now, this is the first month I've gotten this box, but I couldn't have been happier with this box. This pleased me in so many ways. This month in general had very good boxes, but this is like the first time I've legitimately been excited and happy about every single item in the box. So, this is something that future boxes should do. It's called Custom Fan Box for a reason. You kinda, to a certain extent, pick what goes in the boxes. Not the specific items, but the general themes of it, which I really appreciate, and I think more boxes should do. So not necessarily pick the theme, but each month I feel like boxes should send out just like a quick like email and just ask a couple questions just really quickly and give you some options. None of them do, but I think they should. So when you order Custom Fan Box, you get to pick your t-shirt design, which is a big deal. And it's a big deal because they have such awesome designs. I can't even tell you. Like, their designs are fantastic. Usually with a box, you get one t-shirt. You don't get to pick the design. You either love it or you hate it. End of story. This one has like 30 designs to choose from, and they're all great. I don't know how they get so many awesome designs. It really puts some of these boxes to shame when they put like crappy t-shirt designs when this has so many. The only complaint I would have about this box is they have too many designs to pick from. There's too much. They have 30 designs, but they don't keep them the whole month. So if you go on the site and you see a shirt you like, order it right then, because I read up on them. Sometimes they change their t-shirt designs weekly. So they said on Mondays, almost every week they'll change the designs. I feel like if they have so many, like 30 designs, they should keep it for the whole month. Let people order, do that month, and then switch. But when they're doing it every week, that's like too much. And when you see a design and then you wait too long, then it's gone forever. And that's such a bummer. Because the first month I saw it, I thought the designs were going to be there a while. So I only ordered one, and I missed out on a bunch of cool designs. And then I saw some other cool ones, and then I waited a few days, and they were gone again. Luckily, when I ordered this month, I still got some awesome ones, but I highly recommend at least checking out their site, because you won't be disappointed by their t-shirt designs. They're so cool. And then when you check out, you start clicking off things of your interest, TV shows, movies, whatsoever. And don't give them an easy time. Like, don't click on things that you just kind of like. Only click your favorite things to make sure you get the top-notch stuff. I got a t-shirt design, which I loved. I got a Funko Pop, which was awesome. I got a mug with a really cool design on it. And yeah, I loved everything in this box because it was kind of tailored towards me. And again, it was still a mystery box because it's not like you picked the items. You just gave them idea to tailor it more towards you. Now, that being said, I'm going to play devil's advocate now. And this box was great this month, but this could take a turn very south very quickly. Because if next month is exactly like this, then this box is not going to get as high of a rating. Because if every month I'm getting a shirt, a pop, a mug, a patch, then it's going to show that there's not that much creativity. I'm not going to want a bunch of the same shit every single month. Although it's in theme of things I like, I am going to look for some variety. So next month is going to be a very important month for Custom Fan Box because we're going to find out like which direction this company is going to go. This is the first month and the first box, so it's very hard to tell about this company. It was a fantastic box, but who knows which direction this company is going to go. It could be like lead the bandwagon and be the best company ever, or it could just skate by subpar. So we'll see how creative they get with the items. The thing about this, which worries me, is a lot of these items were made themselves. The mug was a design they printed themselves, the t-shirt the same thing, so I'm kind of nervous that a lot of the items are going to be things that they make themselves. Which is fine, but I don't want that all the time. So, this box was really cool. I highly recommend checking out their site. Everyone that I've sent there has thought the world of them. They're only month by month. They haven't started a subscription plan yet. But hopefully when they do, they still do the questionnaire each month to keep updated with people's interests. So I hope they keep it up. So this one definitely deserved the #1 spot. I loved everything in this box. I loved how they handled their website. I loved the concept of it. It wasn't that expensive, and it got almost double the value, and you are guaranteed to get a t-shirt design that you really, really love. So much about this was a great company. I think other boxes can take notes on it. Again, not that these other boxes were bad, but I think they could be a little more personal with their customers. Just each month do a small questionnaire of things they can input. If you choose not to do it, then you'll get random stuff, but they should be more in tune with their customers and take more tips from them, even on a monthly basis. Maybe add it into a database and take the most popular requests, send it out. Anyway, I'm just rambling with a bunch of ideas, but I think other boxes should take note of that. There's other boxes I'm getting which are more the same thing where you put your interest in, but I have yet to see anything from those companies, so we'll see where that comes from. So anyway, that was #1, Custom Fan Box. Super dehydrated. So again, if anyone's still watching at this point, thank you. Thank you for being loyal and sticking it out till the end. You are awesome. So that's been the month of March. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but these were the boxes of March. These boxes take so long to get here. I know we're most way through April by now, but since a lot of them come from Japan, March's boxes don't finish getting here till halfway through the month after you ordered them. So this is always going to be the pattern. The monthly review is going to be halfway into the next month, and that's just kind of how it's going to have to be. So these have been the boxes of March. Not all of them are going to stay. A lot of them were one-off, and I think this is too many boxes for 1 month. This is a shitload of boxes, so I'm going to narrow it down because now I'm making it more complicated than it should be. Now with all these boxes, it's making it difficult to make a decision because there's too much going on. So I'm going to narrow it down, try to keep the number of boxes a smaller total number to try and make it easier for you guys to decide. So I hope this was helpful to everyone. If you like it, like the channel, like the video, subscribe, and hit me up. Feel free to comment with any of your opinions or any of your suggestions. I'm pretty good about keeping one-on-one relationships, so anything you comment, I'll be sure to like it and I'll be sure to respond to it because I value your guys' opinion. Because again, this channel is about you guys. It's not about me and my opinions. It's about helping you to find the best boxes. So when your opinion comes in, that makes decisions and that helps me to create the channel more around you guys. So I really hope I could help you out in some way or another. I hope I could help you find the box that you like. So thank you so much for watching and tuning in to me. So the next video I do is going to be a weekly roundup. I have some contest winners to announce, so I have some giveaways I have to do. So stay tuned to that. And again, if you liked any box here, feel free to watch the specific videos and so I can talk about individual items. So hopefully this video hasn't been insanely long. I haven't looked at the time yet, so hopefully it's just crazy long and not insanely long. So again, thank you all for watching. I value you all as subscribers, and I would love to talk to you all about anything you want to talk about in accordance to these boxes, so feel free to hit me up. Anyway, rambling again, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you all for your support. I couldn't have done it without you. I love you all so much. Peace.